is supernaturals and dogs. So I'll be talking about that how dogs are related with the supernatural entities, or how supernatural entities and dogs can play a role together. I mean, not in a positive way, I'm talking about in a negative way here. Okay, because many of you wanted to know that when you have dogs in your houses and you have seen sudden change in your dog's behavior, or sudden change the way your dog is interacting with you also for that matter, or his certain indications that you find it to be very dangerous or something to be observant about. Okay, so this is what the topic is about. So let's get started. So see, when I'm talking about supernatural in dogs, I simply mean that dogs are very sensitive souls or creatures who can gauge supernatural activities around them very easily. Okay, because they're designed like this. And we also say that it is actually a form of Kal Bhairav, in which we pray for the protection and for the guarding things around us. Okay, so if we keep the dogs nicely, they say that, you know, you pleasing the Lord Kal Bhairav in this situation. Okay, so when I'm talking about that, if you see that you have a dog and suddenly you have shifted to a new place or apartment, or maybe in the same apartment of yours you're staying, and suddenly your dog has started behaving in a very weird way, and it is noticing you, this is catching in your eyes, and this theme is something which is very new for you, and certain changes in dogs. Now what are those changes? See, if you have any supernatural entity which is in your house, whether it is your present house or maybe you have shifted somewhere, your dogs will start showing signs. Now what are those signs? First of all, a sudden stare, a sudden I would say change in the way they're looking towards certain things. For example, suddenly you're sitting together and your dog suddenly gets up and looks here or there with an angle and with a very frightening vision that you can make out. You know, people who have dogs, they can understand that what I'm talking, that you know each and every expression of your dog. And if you think that something has really surprised your dog all of a sudden with a fear element along with it, blended with it, that simply means there is something from a different dimension that the dog is watching. Okay, now I'm not saying that every time it's going to be like this. Of course your dog can be surprised with various things and various aspects in life, but this is what I'm talking about, with little fear and with little anxiety also for that matter. Okay, second thing is that, you know, wherever you're sitting, and of course because you can't see the different dimension things around you, but they can. These are creatures who can see this. So when they're able to see, suddenly they will get up and start moving towards a much more lonelier place, or an isolated place, or a room where they want to be away from that entity. Especially when you're getting a pup, especially when you're getting a dog which is not even crossed 1 year of age. Okay, because that time their senses are developing, their organs are developing, their mind is developing, mentally they're trying to register a lot of things and observe a lot of things. So they're not fully equipped to gauge things of the supernatural elements. But then once they start growing up, they start reaching to the age of 9 months or 10 months or 12 months for that matter, anything beyond 1.5 years, your dog is completely equipped to gauge the supernatural elements and sniff around and even have the vision of it. Okay, so you will start seeing that if there is any supernatural entity or an evil spirit, or for that matter a negative energy for that matter, your dog can even sometimes, you know, suddenly just get up and just move away with so much of fright from the room that you will be shocked that this dog of mine used to sleep next to me. Now why the hell this is happening, that this dog is going away from me and my family? It's not that the dog doesn't want to be with you, it is just that that element, that thing is scaring him so much that he is trying to save himself and save his energies, because maybe it's not able to face that much or take that much of negative energy towards him or her for that matter. That can be one of the reasons. Okay, secondly, I always say that if you're surrounded with black magic for that matter, or any negative energies around you, these creatures divide the ratio of taking up things on themselves if you have 2 or 3 dogs available in your house. So if you're having an old dog, my suggestion is this for the people, that if you have an old dog, for example, if you have 3 dogs or 4 dogs in your house and 2 of them have gone old, and if you figure out that there is something negative in our house or around us, I would suggest that you take up a new dog, you bring in a new life in your house, a new pup, and to balance that thing out. Now, I'm not saying that you have to sacrifice these animals or dogs just because they can gauge things, no, but I'm just saying that if you're actually a dog lover, sometimes the solution is to distribute that energy among those 3 or 4 dogs, and then of course get the diagnosis done and get rid of the root cause of the problem. But then sometimes you're not able to find the correct person or a correct specialist so easily. So what will you do that time? This video that I'm making today is for that purpose, that if you're taking time to find a black magic removal specialist, meanwhile you can do this to safeguard the life of your present dog who is taking so much of load on himself or herself. Okay, this is very important because many of you have written to me that your dogs are showing different behaviors, or you're thinking that your dog is under some kind of a pressure or some kind of a supernatural element around which is troubling him or her. Okay, so this is about it that I wanted to talk about in this video. I hope this video makes some sense to people who are facing this kind of a problem, and don't waste time, because trust me, these negative energies attack dogs in a very massive way. You never know what happens in the next 24 hours if something is really behind you. Okay, so that's about it. Next week I'll come up with another topic. Till then, goodbye.